Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! However, this time, we're talking about the new release in the TCG that is the Gate Guardian retrains. All I've seen is that they are new, and there's a bunch of them, and that is it. This is exciting. It's mostly actually Paradox cards, not specifically Gate Guardian, because there's also Labyrinth Tank, which this is by far one of my favorite cards. The OG Labyrinth Tank. I still have the card. It's in my binder right now, and it is super cool. I love that card. So seeing it get a retrain is super exciting. Hopefully this is pretty interesting. But the first thing that I noticed is that it's a Dark Warrior. Every time I see Dark Warrior, I just like have mini flashbacks to Dark Warrior FTK, and it's not fun. But yeah, let's actually talk about this. Level 12 Dark Warrior Fusion Effect Monster, 3750 attack and 340 defense. I think that's how much Gate Guardian has. I could be wrong. I don't entirely know. But, yeah, pretty cool. Song of the Thunder, Kazujin, and Suijin are the three materials needed for it. Must be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards from hand, field, and or graveyard. Oh. So this is very similar to ABC. ABC Buster Dragon. Buster Dragon? ABC Dragon. So, that's pretty good. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card you control, you can negate that effect, and if you do, destroy the card. Is that a once per turn? You can only use this effect of Gate Guardian thrice! Thrice per turn! Oh! Well, that's pretty good. Now, granted, there's a ton of things that don't target Dark Ruler no more, droplets, access code, etc. So, not exactly terrible, but not exactly great. If this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, or in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon one level 11 or lower Gate Guardian monster from deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So you can't summon itself, but you could potentially summon water and thunder, thunder and wind, or wind and water. Oh, okay. So it's all of the different combos. So you need Suijin and Sangha must be fusion summoned from the extra deck by banishing cards you control. So you specifically have to control them for this one. So this looks like it is designed specifically to be summoned out off of these. I think that's probably all of them. Yeah, they all have the same restriction. You got to control the cards. So I would imagine most of them are to be summoned off of this guy's effect. So pseudo floating. Once per chain. Good to know. Once per chain, quick effect, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, changes its attack to 0 until the end of this turn. That's it. Just... okay. You can only use this effect twice per turn. Okay. Little bit weird there, but once per chain, twice per turn. If this face-up card, it leaves the field, you can special summon one of your banished Suijins or Sangha the Thunder. So, basically, the idea is each time you're kind of just getting slowly weaker and weaker until you go from 3, all 3 of them, to 2 to 1. Cool. What is the other one? Same conditions. During the main phase, you can add a spell trap from your deck to your hand that mentions either of them or any of them, and then you can only use the effect once per turn. So that is during your main phase. If this face up a special summon card, it leaves the field. You can special summon one of your banished materials. Okay, this is interesting because this one seems very good in terms of like just being a search target, but the problem is like how you're summoning it, because you got to summon it by banishing the cards you control. So normally you would summon it off of this, but this requires your opponent to interact. So that does make it a little bit worse, but we'll see how that goes. Next up, we have Gate Guardian of Wind and Water. Once per chain, when your opponent activates a spell trap on the field, negate that effect. Oh, it just negates the effect. So it doesn't negate and destroy, just negates the effect. Interesting. You can only use the effect twice per turn. So, it's basically Shien twice. Or no, Shien destroys. That's pretty nice, actually. Not crazy, but being able to do that on top of this guy, like if this guy gets destroyed, then also being able to go for this to potentially lock your opponent out of, like, you know, grabbing additional follow-up. Although I wouldn't really know what they would grab there. It's nice, but not crazy. If this face up, a special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you could special summon one of your banished Kazujin, Ooze, or Suijin. So, yeah, they all have the same thing. I will say, I love the artwork for all of these. They all look great. This one's mid, but this one looks good. This one looks good. This one looks good. They all just look like the pieces put together. Doing a special attack, the lightning attack, the wind attack, and the water attack. It looks cool. I like it. Very cool. This is by far one of my favorite arts. I love it. It's just like quintessential early Yu-Gi-Oh style, and I love it. It looks super cool, so I'm excited for this one. Labyrinth Heavy Tank. It is a level 7 Dark Machine effect, 24/24. You can normal summon this card without tributing. Cannot attack the turn. It is normal summon. Good to know. Okay, cool. So it's another level 7 extender for Kashira. Good to know. During your main phase, you can place one of your Sangha, Kazujin, or Suijin that is banished or in your hand or deck face up in your spell trap zone as a continuous spell. Then, if you control a Labyrinth Wall, you can destroy a monster your opponent controls. Whoa. Okay. Interesting. And it's specifically a Labyrinth Wall card. So, potentially there is going to be other Labyrinth Wall stuff. So, that's interesting. Just target a banish, add it to your hand, or in your hand or deck that is banished, or in your hand or deck. Face it. So, you could just... Interesting. So, you can banish it, or you can basically put it into the spell and trap card zone from the deck. I don't know what this serves. I guess technically you could... Oh, I think that's the thing. Because it doesn't have to be a monster, I think. It's just banishing the above cards, yeah. So you could banish it from the field. So that's really cool. Labyrinth just automatically gets you one of the materials. So that's nice. And it also could potentially pop a card as well. Let's talk about Shadow Ghoul, level 5 Dark Zombie Effect Monster. Discard this card, add a Labyrinth Wall card from your deck to your hand at the start of the damage step. If your opponent's monster battles, while you control a Labyrinth Wall card, you banish this card from graveyard, destroy the opponent's monster. That is fantastic. That is very similar to how it kind of worked in the anime, kind of shrinking into the wall and then coming back out and just like, dealing with a monster. Very cool. I love the nod to the to the anime, but also I think the artwork also helps it a lot, kind of giving you the idea of it coming from the wall and attacking you. I like that the stats are also basically the same. So cool. I like it. Double attack, Wind and Thunder. If you control a Gate Guardian monster, you can target a card on the field, destroy it. During your main phase, you can banish this card from the graveyard, add one of your pieces that is banished or in your deck to your hand. So once again, it is another way to grab up another one. You can only use this effect once per turn. Destroy it. Okay, well, it's just destroy a card as a quick play. Not bad, honestly. On top of that, during your main phase, if it's in the graveyard, add a card. You could also mill this potentially, or just like discard it for cost or something like that in order to grab up another material. This is just a decent card. It kind of depends on what the rest of the cards do, because honestly, so far, there really needs to be another piece that puts it all together. Like a fusion spell. Ryoryoku Guardian. Oh my gosh, it's the Ryoryoku, but now it's Gate Guardian doing the sucking. Oh my gosh. These have been some really cool artworks and some really cool like effects. Not exceptional in any way. They're not going to be meta defining, but there you go. If your life points are lower than your opponent's, target a monster you control with Gate Guardian in its original name. Have your opponent's life points, then that monster gains attack equal to your opponent's life points. Whoa! Interesting. You can banish this card from the graveyard, add one that is banished or in the deck to your hand. Yep. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, I'm not going to lie, this one is probably the worst one. Yes, having your opponent's life points is nice for like a nice little battle trick. It's very similar to Ryoryoku, but your life points do have to be lower. Maybe there's something that lowers your life points, but your life points do have to be lower. I guess you could play like... No, because up starts at 1 in the TCG. Yeah, this isn't great. Obviously, this effect is pretty nice, being able to search out a card. But, yeah, the first effect, not the greatest. Anyway, Labyrinth Wall Shadow, a field spell. Monsters cannot attack the turn they are summoned, except monsters whose original level is 5 or higher. No. Note that this doesn't include ranks or links, so only levels. Pretty nice. Now, I don't think that matters too much in... I guess it kind of does, but, like, it kind of doesn't. Once per turn during your main phase, you could place one of your Song of the Thunder, Kazujin, or Surujin that is banished in your hand or deck face up in the spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. At the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can target a monster your opponent controls with less than 1600 attack and destroy it. So, I guess the idea is, like, if we go back to this guy, this one changes your opponent's attack to 0, and you can do that twice. So, like, before you go to the battle phase, you change something to 0, and then you pop it with this. It's fine, I guess. And I like the idea of, like, it being this guy basically coming out of the wall and attacking you and destroying the monster. But, yeah, it's not great. It doesn't really do much, right? It does allow you to get another one of the materials. So basically, you have this one, and then if you have this one as well, you get 2 of the materials onto your field for the fusion summon, but you kind of need 1 more. And that's, I think, the biggest part. Let's talk about the trap card, Prey of Jirai Gumo. Jirai Gumo! I actually love that. That's it's kind of silly artwork. Special summon this card as a normal monster. Level 5 Earth Insect, 2100 attack, 100 defense. To your main monster zone in its same column. This card is also still a trap, by the way. Interesting. Okay. Then you can destroy a monster your opponent controls in this card's column. Ooh, interesting. So, so you can't, like, move it. So basically you have to put it in the same column that you expect your opponent to summon something to. Not the greatest. But I guess if you put, like, a link monster in one zone, you can put it into the extra monster zone column and, you know, pop something there. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one of your pieces that is banished from your deck to your hand. This is bad. They don't have a fusion spell, obviously, but the support's decent. It's honestly a lot better than previously, but now there's no real reason to play the actual Gate Guardian. There's no real reason to play... well, I guess you definitely play, like, the pieces, but you probably don't max out on them. I like that they gave them the extra deck monsters as fusions. I mean, obviously that makes the most sense. But you still need to basically get the monsters onto the field to actually go for the fusions, which is pretty cool. I think it's a great nod to the anime effects. Same with the stat lines all being kind of, you know, similar to them all being put together. I love it. This is great for an anime archetype and for the artwork and all of that stuff. This is honestly something that I would enjoy playing. I think that the style is pretty interesting, but it's not perfect. They're kind of missing, like, an actual way to search things. You basically have to have the card in the graveyard. So it seems like it's better going second, because going first you can't really do anything. You're not really setting up much of a board. But going second, it seems pretty decent. Also, being able to make this guy on, or like going second is not bad. But you kind of have to play a bunch of blowout cards and then still be able to see all of the cards that you need, which is a bit much. So yeah, that's basically it for this episode. I just wanted to go over this because I thought that these were some pretty interesting cards, and I was really excited for the Gate Guardian redesign and new retrains. That's what they're called. Anyway, so that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.